If you have ever watched a talented person get stuck because they are in the wrong industry, or just a good company struggle to hire because nobody on the market has exactly the right experience, then career conversion programs were built for that exact gap. Often shortened to CCP, they are one of Singapore's quieter but more powerful workforce schemes because they do something unusual. They help a mid-career worker move into a brand new job, sector, or role they have never done before. And they help an employer take that chance by supporting the cost of reskilling. In the next few minutes, we will unpack what career conversion programs actually are, the main ways they work, who they are broadly for, how the support flows, and how you would go about finding and applying for one, all in plain English. One important note before we begin. This channel is educational only. We are not a government agency. We are not affiliated with or endorsed by Workforce Singapore or My Careers Future, and nothing here is official advice. The eligibility rules, the support levels, the sectors covered, and the programs on offer are all set by the authorities and change over time. And some programs open and close. So treat everything here as background, and always confirm the current details on the official sources dsg.gov.sg and mycareersfuture.gov.sg before you act. What CCPs are? Let us define it plainly. A career conversion program is a reskilling scheme that helps a mid-career individual take on a new occupation or move into a new sector in a role they may have no prior background in, with structured training that builds the skills the job actually needs. The idea is simple but clever. Instead of expecting people to already have the perfect experience, a CCP lets someone learn the new role while a portion of the cost is supported. So the leap into an unfamiliar field becomes realistic rather than frightening. For workers, it is a bridge into industries with better long-term prospects. For employers, it is a way to widen the pool of people they can hire because they no longer have to wait for a candidate who ticks every box on day one. Think of a CCP less as a cash grant and more as a supported pathway. Somebody wants to change direction, an employer is willing to take them on and train them, and the program helps carry the cost and the structure of getting them job ready. The three main modes CCPs are usually delivered through a few main modes, and knowing them helps you see which one fits your situation. The first and most common is place and train. Here the employer hires the individual first into the new role, and the person is then trained on the job and through courses to build the skills they need, earning a salary the whole time. The second is attach and train. This is used in promising, growing sectors where the jobs are coming but may not all exist yet. So individuals receive training and an industry attachment to build skills and connections before they secure a role. The third centers on redeployment and job redesign, aimed at existing employees whose current jobs are at risk of becoming redundant as their company transforms. Rather than letting those workers go, the company reskills them into new or redesigned roles so they can stay employed and valued. Most situations map fairly cleanly onto one of these modes, and the official source is where you confirm which modes are running and what each one involves today. How CCP is different. People often mix CCPs up with training subsidies or hiring grants, so let us draw the line clearly. A plain training subsidy helps offset the cost of a course, and that is roughly where it ends. A career conversion program goes further because it is built around an actual job. The whole point is that a real person ends up in a real new role, with the training designed around that outcome, not around a certificate for its own sake. It is also different from ordinary hiring because the support is tied to reskilling somebody into work they have not done before, rather than topping up the pay of a hire who was already qualified. A simple way to remember it: a course subsidy pays for learning. A hiring incentive rewards a hire. A career conversion program supports the whole bridge from a different background into a genuinely new career, training included. That combination of a job plus structured reskilling plus support is what makes it distinctive. Who broadly qualifies, so who is a CCP broadly for? There are two sides to think about. On the individual side, these programs are generally aimed at mid-career workers, most often Singapore citizens and permanent residents, who are ready to move into a new role and meet the specific requirements of the program they are eyeing. On the employer side, they are generally aimed at companies that are registered and operating in Singapore, that have a genuine job to fill or a genuine role to redesign, and that are willing to commit to training the person properly. The spirit of it is to support real career moves into real jobs, not paper arrangements. Beyond those broad ideas, every individual program carries its own specific conditions, and they matter. The exact age bands, residency rules, sector requirements, and employer obligations are all set officially and can be updated. So I am deliberately not going to quote fixed criteria here. If you remember one thing, let it be this. The shape of eligibility is a real Singapore-based employer, a real new role, and an individual ready to be reskilled, and the precise rules live on wcg.gov.sg, not in a video. How the support works. Now the part everyone wants to understand, how the support actually works. The centerpiece of most career conversion programs is salary support. During the training period, Workforce Singapore co-funds a portion of the trainee's salary, which lowers the cost to the employer of hiring and reskilling someone who is not yet fully productive in the new role. Crucially, the trainee is usually still earning their pay throughout, so a career switch does not mean going without an income while you learn. The level of salary support is not one flat figure. It is set by the authorities. It covers a portion rather than the whole salary. It applies for a defined training duration, and it has often been more generous for individuals who tend to face a harder time in the job market, such as mature workers, the long-term unemployed, or people from other groups the program prioritizes. Because those rates and durations are adjusted over time, I will not put a number on it here. The principle is what matters. The support shares the cost and the risk of reskilling, while the employer still carries a real part, and you should always check the current support levels and durations on the official source before you budget. A typical conversion. Let us make this concrete with a made-up illustration, because the modes can feel abstract. Imagine a marketing executive in her late 30s who is good with people and highly organized but stuck in a shrinking part of her industry. She has always been curious about technology roles but has no formal background in them. A growing software company has openings it struggles to fill because few applicants have the exact experience. Through a place and train career conversion program, the company could hire her into a new customer-facing technology role, and she would be trained on the job and through courses to build the skills that role needs while earning a salary, and while the employer receives support during the training period. A few months in, she is doing work she could never have been hired for on paper alone. Notice the pattern. A willing employer, an individual ready to switch, a real job at the end, and structured reskilling supported along the way. That is exactly the kind of career move these programs are designed to make possible. Common mistakes. A handful of mistakes trip people up again and again. So let us name them. The first, for individuals, is assuming a CCP is a course you simply sign up for, when in reality it runs through a participating employer and an actual job. So the route usually starts with finding the right role. The second is treating it as guaranteed, when acceptance depends on the program, the employer, and meeting the conditions, and nobody can promise you a place. The third, for employers, is underestimating the commitment because you are agreeing to genuinely train and retain the person, not just collect support. The fourth is missing timing and process steps, since approvals and paperwork usually need to be in order before things begin, and getting the order wrong can cost you the support. And the fifth, the one this whole channel keeps repeating, is relying on second-hand figures and rules from an old article or video instead of the official source. Every one of these is avoidable with a little preparation and the habit of checking the authoritative channels first. How to check and apply. So how do you actually move forward? Start on the official government channels rather than a forum or an old blog post, because that is the only place the current programs, sectors, and rules live. In practice, mid-career individuals often begin by exploring roles and career conversion program listings on My Careers Future, while Workforce Singapore is where the scheme details and the routes for employers and program partners sit. A sensible sequence looks like this. First, if you are an individual, get clear on the kind of role you want to move into, and look for CCP-linked openings in that direction. Second, if you are an employer, identify the genuine role you need to fill or redesign, and read the official requirements for the relevant program. Third, work through the proper application and approval process as published, often alongside an appointed program partner. And fourth, only commit once you understand the conditions. I want to be clear about one thing. We cannot enroll you, we cannot approve anyone, and no one can honestly guarantee a place or an outcome. What you can do is prepare well and go through the proper official route, which is entirely in your hands. Quick recap, let us pull it together. Career Conversion Programs, or CCPs, help mid-career workers move into new jobs, sectors, and roles they have not done before, with structured reskilling, and they help employers take that chance by supporting the cost. They run mainly through Place and Train, where you are hired then trained, attach and train, which builds skills before a role in growing sectors, and Redeployment and Job Redesign, which reskills existing workers whose roles are changing. They are broadly aimed at real Singapore-based employers with genuine roles and at individuals, most often citizens and permanent residents, who are ready to switch. The support usually takes the form of salary support during training, rather than a lump sum, at levels the authorities set and adjust. And because the exact programs, eligibility and support levels are official and change over time, with some programs opening and closing, the live details always come from usag.gov.sg and mycareersfuture.gov.sg, never from memory. A closing reminder. Remember the spirit of this channel. Our job is to hand you the map and the vocabulary, so schemes like career conversion programs stop feeling like alphabet soup, and you can walk into the official pages already knowing what you are looking at. But the official sources always have the final word. Nothing here is a promise that you qualify, that you will be accepted, or that any figure you heard is current. When you are ready, get clear on the role or the hire you have in mind. Read the official career conversion program pages on Workforce Singapore and My Careers Future, and prepare from there. If this made career conversion programs clearer, subscribe for more Plain English Singapore grant explainers, and we will keep turning these schemes into plain English, one grant at a time, so you can stop leaving support on the table.